Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to take 2 of the REBBL Superbowl. Let's try this again. Hey, good news is we've got consistency in the commentary box. T-Self is back.
Hello.
You looking forward to this one again? I asked all these questions yesterday, but let's just go through the motions once again.
Yeah. Well, we tried once, and we're gonna try again because it's still gonna be a good game.
We'll take a quick look at the teams. Now, we already know the inducements for this game, which is kind of weird, because they're going to stick to the same inducements and whatnot that we saw in the original attempt, so that there's nothing untoward there. So the Orcs will take a bribe for this game.
No guessing needed.
We've got 3 guard. We've got the Mighty Blow. 1 Mighty Blow, who's got Tackle, which is good, but Frenzy, which is maybe
also
good.
Okay, good. Yeah. I mean, it's good, and it's bad at the same time.
Yes.
I think that's the best thing I could say about Frenzy.
Schrodinger's
It's good
Frenzy.
when it's good, and it's bad when it's bad.
The problem that the Orcs have got for this game is their opponents have
a lot of
4
sidestep.
Blodge Step. So 4 Blodge Step on this team.
I mean, at least he has Tackle, right?
True, yeah, but we kind of need to get some of these players at the first time of asking. The good news yesterday was that when we had the disconnect issue for Wenteros, hopefully Wenteros' internet is all sorted today, we hadn't had much happen. There was like 1 KO each, so it's not like one coach has been particularly disadvantaged either way. But in your mind, and I'm always interested in talking about the psychology of this stuff, if something goes wrong in the first couple of turns, do you start thinking, oh, maybe if we were just on the other dice string, we'd be having a better time here?
It's certainly something to think about when you're playing. Like, you can't get rid of the unconscious biases that we have towards random numbers.
Yeah. There was quite a lot of push skulls yesterday anyway, to be fair. But, you know, if all of a sudden the first LOS blocks produce a injury or a removal or something like that, and you start going, oh, well, that didn't happen the first time around. Maybe this dice seed is going to be worse
Brutal.
for me. But there's nothing you can really do about that.
Maybe we've switched onto the Viking Cup dice seed from that quarterfinal.
So I think what we said yesterday is, on paper, we would say the Dark Elves are... I mean, it's interesting because most people think Orcs would be favoured against Dark Elves here, full stop. But in terms of the what we've seen from both coaches through the playoffs so far, I think Wenteros would be the slight favourite.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty close matchup, I'd say. I mean, it's a tough one. I think in general, Dark Elves win around this TV more than Orcs. Orcs need a little bit more cooking, but this is a very solid Orc.
Yes, yeah, they're kind of like... They would probably love the Orcs, like 2 more guard if they could get a hold of it. But, you know, you can't always get what you want.
Especially on Biggins. Like, it takes a while to level him up. I mean, just impressive that he has 4 block Biggins for the playoffs, and then one of them has guard.
One of these, it'll be interesting to see how redraft affects Orcs, like, in the longer term, because they've got a lot of pieces that want... Certainly the Biggins want 2 skills as an absolute minimum. I think at least gone are the days where you would see an Orc team where all of the Black Orcs, as they used to be, had like block, mighty blow, guard, stand firm, and it was just like a wall of that. I think block guard will be the standard that they'll want. And then you probably are just taking either mighty blow or guard on your blitzers, because probably most of your investment needs to go to the Biggins on an Orc team.
I feel like you have to like really prioritize Biggin investment, because the blitzers, they actually level quite fast.
Yeah, you can have block
you
guard
can pull
on...
a rookie in.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns and that's solid.
Yeah, exactly. 2 touchdowns, he's sorted for life. They don't really need more than the second skill.
What you might see then over
really
a longer period of time is this idea that an Orc team might suddenly get screwed by the redraft like every 4th season or something.
Yeah. I'm sure a lot of teams will be falling into that. It's going to take time for everyone to adjust to it.
Okay. No sign of the game yet. We will do the intro going into the game. So I'm going to give that another 30 seconds, and then we will go from there. Now, I can't do a prediction because people who were here yesterday got a prediction, but I wasn't able to pay that prediction out. So, unfortunately, we can't do another one, but the people who were in the prediction yesterday will still get that paid out based on the result of this game today. Nice and easy.
I don't think there were many people in anyways. We did.
To be fair, yeah.
To be fair, like the starts of games, everyone like starts to trickle in around like turn 3 or 4. That's usually how it goes.
Right, I'm hoping.
Gone are the days where you would get like 150 people before the game started.
I'm hoping I'm going to get my timing right here. So we're going to go with the intro, and then hopefully we'll have a game for you when we get back.
I'm coming at you with a massive attack. I'll leave you flat on your back. Smack you with my mighty tackle. Bones will pop, snap, and crackle. This is a blitzkrieg, son. Sit down, I already won. Punishment has to begun. Just let me reload my gun of ones. It's time to get off my pitch. Here I can help you with this. My shadow friend got a shiv, and he likes when you resist. Time to be quiet, don't snitch. I love the thrill of the risk. All day I spin like a disc. You know it's deep in your soul. It's in your blood to roll. Bet every dollar you own. It's in your blood to roll. Man, this boy's out of control. It's in your blood to roll. You got some dice to roll. It's in your blood to roll. You know it deep in your soul. It's in your blood to roll. Bet every dollar you own. It's in your blood to roll. Man, this boy's out of control. It's in your blood to roll. You got some dice to roll. It's in your blood to roll. Now let's strip it back as I give that carrier a slap. Put away your hopes and dreams as I delete your team. You got some agile grace, but I got mutated faces. Sprinting to extra spaces while my base plays dirty. Now you're 0 to 30. Man, them witches be flirting with 7 and 7. You into the turf and now you're badly hurting its curtains. My disturbing presence is finished teaching its lesson, keeping you guessing, and that's the end of the session. You know it's deep in your soul. It's in your blood to roll. Bet every dollar you own. It's in your blood to roll. Man, this boy's out of control. It's in your blood to roll. You got some dice to roll. It's in your blood to roll. You know it's deep in your soul. It's in your blood to roll. Bet every dollar you own. It's in your blood to roll. Man, this boy's out of control. It's in your blood to roll. You got some dice to roll. It's in your blood to roll.
Well, nothing I can do. You start the intro, and then guess what? You get a ping immediately after that says 5-minute delay to kick off. So, more speculation time. Welcome along to the REBBL Super Bowl. If you're just joining us, Orcs versus Dark Elves. We'll take another quick look at the teams. It's Big O, Coke Guy, versus G-Man, Wenteros. Now, yeah, I think the kickoff time, it's probably a weird one because this is quite early in the morning for the Americas. It's probably quite late in the evening for the Aussies. And for the Europeans, it's kind of weirdly mid-afternoon where people have probably got other stuff going on. So probably not an ideal time zone for any region.
I think that's what always happens whenever you have to like schedule across 10 hours or however many it's probably, it was just like probably like 3 hours between them, actually. Not too bad, but 3 or 4.
So these are Coke Guys Orcs. We have, as we said before, 3 guards, 3 tackle, although one of them is a random on alignment. It could still come in handy. Our sort of pseudo thrower is Orcish Lumberjack, who has
I believe he was double random into then picking block.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Really nice play.
The key player is Gorbag of Minas Morgul. Mighty Blow, Tackle, and Frenzy. Mighty Blow, Tackle, good. Frenzy could be great. Could get us into some problems as well. And we have the Shadow Dragons, their opponents today, the Dark Elves, 4 Bloodstep, which is the potential worry for Mr. Frenzy. It's a 12-player roster. Killian Nightmare will miss the game through injury. We could have replaced him with a newbie if we want to, but it seems like we are not overly keen of giving the Orcs any more inducements.
Yeah, 100 was what we ended with, which was a bribe to the Orcs. 70 extra could have easily been bad.
As we said, we do know it'll be a bribe for the Orcs. The game was originally played yesterday. We got 3 turns in, and then Wenteros's internet service provider let us all down, but particularly let Wenteros down. So we've had to cancel the game after 3 turns, bring it back to square one, and go again. Now, it shouldn't be too much of an issue. There'd been like 1 KO for each team in the early part of the game, so it's not like one coach has been heavily disadvantaged. The good news is the game is live.
Yes. Go.
So it would be the first time for a long time that the G-Man, if they won, would win a Super Bowl. Big O have been on a real streak in the past sort of 18 months, 2 years, something like that. On Blood Bowl 2, of course. This is Blood Bowl 3. Will the power of the Big O continue as it was previous?
Yeah, and it might not be the Big O that was predicted to make to the Super Bowl final, but they're here.
You've got to be here to have the chance to win it, right? So the first thing is to get here, and then it's 1 game of Blood Bowl. We don't have rain, but we do have very sunny conditions, so almost the precise opposite.
And very sunny, pretty much a non-factor for both teams. Dark Elves have a little harder time passing, so I guess this really just sets in no passing for the Dark Elves.
Yeah, what we've seen, and we did see this in the early part of the original attempt yesterday, was Wenteros will try and pick this ball up on his runner, and then he will hold it in the backfield. He won't go anywhere near trying to score for 4 or 5 turns, if that, probably even later. And he'll just take his time. What we saw is him try to pick up his 2 dice blocks where he could protect his good pieces, and then go from there. But I suspect we'll take the same approach of just blitzing round the back here, try and hit the tackle guard blitzer, which is the same option we had available to us on turn 1 yesterday.
Yeah, any chance to get rid of the tackle seems to be what he was going for in that first half, those first couple turns yesterday. Pretty much like all of his blitzes were targeted at one of the 3 tackle players in the last game. And I mean, if you can get them down, then I mean it's pretty hard to see the Orcs ever,
now
getting one of those blood steppers down.
Solid defense gives us a chance to put some tackle and some guard on the LOS here. We've rolled the D3 as well, as in we've rolled a 3, so we can move the maximum number of players here. So there's a chance to really put some of these elves on the front line under a little bit of pressure.
Yeah, chance to double up on the sidesteppers. You can move exactly 6 players, so if you really wanted, just double player on each of those sidesteppers. And I think that would be a good call. Definitely going to be not the start Wenteros wanted compared to the last game, but I don't think it's going to be super impactful.
Now, as long as he can make his 2 pluses away, then it doesn't actually really make any difference at all, right? It's going to affect who he can blitz. You want to be careful of basing the Bloodstep guy on the far side here, because it could be possible to surf a player.
Yeah. I don't think he's going to, actually. I think he's just going to base up the 2 in the middle. Just because you don't want to get surfed.
Big old line of Orcs. Exactly what you would expect to see.
And he has put tackle onto both of those Lodge Steppers, so they won't be able to use their dodge skill.
So we can see he's moving the dirty player to the side away from the mighty blow, which I think is a good choice. Also making sure that player is not available to be blitzed, because the Orcs do have a bribe and they will want to make use of that dirty player.
I guess the only thing that changes here that is interesting is that now the tackle Mighty Blow Frenzy Orc is a potential blitz target.
Yeah, it's quite a commitment to get to him, but you could get to him if you wanted to.
Yeah, it's not easy to get the assist. The blitz itself is actually quite easy, but...
So, Wenteros will take a moment, think about this. Obviously, time bank is to be considered. It says 2 minutes at the top of the screen, but it won't be 2 minutes.
Yeah. But also, let's talk about that again. We saw a little bit of the last game, right? We had, I'm not sure how much of it was the net issue. Probably some.
Oh, this is nice. So this gives us a chance to take another block. So we can chain push one of these guard pieces forward. And then we can get more assists in to take an additional follow-up block here, which I like that as an idea. You probably go for the tackle one.
Yeah, it even lets you... I think he's going to go for the guard one because it lets him walk off the tackle.
Yeah.
Just not be based at the end of the turn. He only needs one extra assist for it.
So yeah, you probably just put the Witch Elf in to do that job. Or this lineman over here. Take a 2-dice block.
Yeah, I think he's keen to keep his Witch Elves away from the Orc players.
We're not rewarded. Double push only.
I think he'll still walk with the guy because, yeah, doesn't want to be on tackle. So yeah, both players used up a considerable amount of time bank in their first 3 turns yesterday, and I'm not sure exactly how much of Wenteros's was due to the net issue. But it's probably safe to say that they're both very calculated players.
Just to cover Raviest's question in chat, Dirty Player adds 1 to a foul roll, either the initial armor break or the casualty roll.
Mighty Blow for fouls.
And Sneaky Gate means that if you roll a double on the first part of the foul, which is the attempted armor break, you will not be sent off by the referee. Combination of them is good. One without the other, Dirty Player is better.
Yes, definitely. Because if you're choosing to foul, it's because you want to get rid of a player. And the upside of it not, sending your own player off is just upside.
Okay, that's a good place, because now we can go with the Frenzy guy, and he would get a follow-up 2-dice block. Mighty Blow hit will come in. We found the pow, we get the break, and that is a stun. But that becomes a very nice foul target to set up for a future turn.
Yeah. You can get a 2-assist foul here right now, but obviously on a future turn you might be able to get more.
It's that age-old question, isn't it, of do you foul a player while they are stunned, or do you wait the turn? Obviously, if you wait the turn, there's a chance that the other team can come in to protect them, but I think the Orcs have got that covered pretty well.
And I think the Orcs are very enticed to just set up for, a big amount of Orcs over on one side. They don't actually care if the Elves take position on them, because Wenteros has shown in the past that he doesn't quite like to take position, right? He likes to play slower.
It's almost it's the same as Viking Cop's approach in the semi-final, right? So 1-1 overtime, where they can produce damage in the first 16 turns, works lovely for the Orcs today. That works lovely as well. Double pow on the blood step. Who needs tackle?
I believe we like to call that a fat pow.
Yes, I think so. It's the official terminology.
I wonder if he stays put here, even though it's not bringing guard onto the other players. It makes the dodging a little harder for that Blodge Stepper afterwards.
Yeah, it's just a slightly better screen, isn't it, if you stay put where you are. You don't need to worry about him being surfed. He's going to stay exactly still. No armor break. But a couple of elves on the floor. And a few based up as well.
Yeah, Elves definitely in a weaker position than they were at this point in terms of like just field position, but you know, neither side has struck any removals, so still well in the balance here.
Yeah, of course the Orcs yesterday had given themselves the chance to, like, they had a chance to go and pick up the ball, right? Because it was a failed pickup from the runner in the rain. But then the blitzer went and fell over and knocked himself out. So
in as Orcs tend to do, they fail their rushes, and then
you would
it always seems that armor 10 just doesn't hold up when you fail something like
you would think, right, that there's no reason that an Orc should fail a rush more than any other player, but they just do. I just promise you, they do. So not a mighty blow hit there from the wrestle witch up. Although that could be a foul target. That might be why we went with the wrestle there, just to try and ensure that we had the maximum opportunity to get that player to the floor. Although moving these players away lies that.
Yeah, it seems like Wentros has decided from the beginning, when we didn't see any fouls last attempt, that just one bench doesn't seem like enough to be fouling this team with, just with the high armor and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if it was the tackle guard piece, or if it was the tackle mighty blow piece, I think his mindset may be a little different.
Yeah, one of those two guys. Like, it's you just limit the specific number of people you're willing to foul.
That standard guard guy, in theory, other than the fact he just double-powered your blood step, and you might want to teach him a lesson for that. But he's not the most valuable piece.
We're going to see a couple more dodges to end this turn. Controlling space. This guard Orc is kind of stuck where he is, to be honest. Can you even stand him up? I mean, I guess you dodge him. I think you can't.
So that is as good as a stun on that guy, as long as you're holding position like that.
Yeah, he can't really, like, because even if he stands up and runs away, like, he's going to need to rush in order to get off the sideline.
See, there's a bit of a setup on the flank here, which may encourage the Orcs to commit a lot of players over there, which might open up the other side of the field. So I think from Coke Guy's perspective, the best approach here is to just base up what you want, but continue to hold that center field to make sure that you can cover either side should you need to.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see a foul this turn. I do think that the guard blitzer is stunned, though. Like, or effectively stunned. Like, you can't pick him up.
You can't even really dodge him out, because you'd have to dodge him out and then make a rush to ensure that he was safe from being surfed.
Maybe you do that end of turn. It's probably better than just leaving him on the floor. But just with the caveat that you're not going to reroll.
Yeah, and I mean, it might put a bit of pressure on the ball and force the ball to go somewhere. Armor break again from the mighty blow guy. This time, it's another stun.
I think we'll see whether he wants to do this foul or not here.
He's got a bribe
that looks
in
to me
pocket.
like he's doing it. Yeah.
Bribe in pocket. You'll probably commit as many assists as you want to this foul. Yeah.
5 assists here. Maybe just 4 and keep this guard tackle staying. Nope, all 5.
Big foul. Big stun. Didn't need any of the assists, really.
Didn't need any assists and did not need the bribe. Well, good news is you get to try again next turn.
Yeah, so that is generally the problem for an elf coach, right? One of your good players has got stuck upfield, and he is going to be fouled every turn until such point as either he's off the pitch or the guy trying to foul him is off the pitch. Especially
when you get into these number of people surrounding him. You're just guaranteeing a stun every turn.
It's an overtime format game. The Orcs always have the option in their back pocket to play for attrition and to play for the 1-1 overtime. We'll suffocate the game then. It's the natural disadvantage that an agility team has in an overtime format game.
Boom.
Because they are very, like, the Dark Elves in this situation are, barring something ridiculous happening, they're not going to be able to out-remove the Orcs across the course of 16 turns. And they're unlikely to be able to keep up with the removals unless the Orcs have a particularly bad day at the office. So, it's always the extra tool that the Bash coach has in their back pocket should they need it.
And that's kind of like the reason why we still use our patented Blood Bowl 2 overtime rules.
Just to confirm, both of these players have already got a ticket to the World Cup. There's an armor break from the Witch. And that's a KO. Big removal.
Yeah.
One of the big ones.
First blood again goes to the Elves. This time it's a big one instead of the Guard. You have to wonder, like, with a removal there, are you less or more enticed to foul that Guard blitzer on the floor?
You could. I mean, going up by 2 would be lovely for the Dark Elves, right? And would largely completely neutralize everything I just said about a minute ago. That Witch Elf is forward and will be a little bit exposed.
I think Gorbag of Minas Morgul is, like, staring at her right now.
Yeah. I don't think this is particularly a good idea, but the best way to save this guy is to offer up this Witch.
I mean, what's happening here is, like, I think all of these blitzers are going to try and get in the way.
Yeah, well, the Elves are actually doing what we thought they wouldn't do, and they're taking up a forward pitch position. So, by the looks of things, Wenteros has been offered a little bit of space on this side and would like to take it. I wonder, honestly.
I wonder if, like, the taking the position is just because the Witch was on that side of the Biggin after the block.
Yeah.
And then protecting her.
I wonder if there's an argument for taking this foul first and then moving the rest of your team.
With a bribe, there definitely is an argument for that.
Interesting as well that we've kept one Witch Elf over on this side because that does offer the threat of the Surf still on this blitzer. Biggin's gone forward to pressure the ball.
I like that. I mean, this ball is, standing in the back with very little help. I mean, obviously right now there's handoff to the Witch, but then it's no longer in the backfield, and you kind of forced Wenteros into a game he doesn't want to play.
Again, right positioning on this player to ensure that anywhere we went, the follow-up block would be a 2 dice. He's doing that well so far, Kokai. Gets the POW once again from Gorbag. No break this time, but we have another foul target. So take your pick.
Probably still going to be the one on the left, but yeah, just because easier number of assists. I guess now you definitely can dodge your Guard blitzer at the end of a turn.
So on the Rebel ticket situation, so Wenteros and Kokai, having reached the final, would get a ticket. And then we would have had a third place playoff between Viking Cop and Truk for the other ticket. But, as we understand the rules, Wenteros has already secured the REBBL ticket. So I think because he's done that first, chronologically, it means that the Rebel ticket that would go to Wenteros would get handed to the loser of the third place playoff. So it would be Truk and Viking Cop, as we understand the rules, who would get the 2 tickets along with Coke Guy.
Looks like we're going to foul the right side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 assists.
Well, it's ultimately the same foul, but with better pitch position, right? And we get the armor break, and we get a stun.
This time, look at that, though. Like, that was all the assists and the dirty player used to break that armor.
We needed everything. There's the dodge. I think we don't re-roll it. Oh, no, we do re-roll it. Okay.
I kind of like the idea of the reroll because it's an extra player pushing towards the ball here, which definitely forces the elves to have to do something this turn.
Being a nuisance.
Like, they have probably one turn left being able to avoid this, but even then, the Biggin, which, by the way, in the new rules has 5 movement, it's actually amazingly huge for this. This is why I think 4 to 5 is the most important, other than maybe 6 to 7.
Yeah, I was going to say 6 to 7 is the other one, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's because he can reach the entire pitch from that central spot. So he can go all the way to both corners of the end zone, all the way back into your own half.
So I suspect that the elves will just make a cage around here. The only weakness of this from Coke Guy, perhaps, is that there's nothing covering this space here, so it's pretty easy for the elves to just move the ball forward into this part of the pitch, make a little cage, and they're fine.
But then they're playing cage ball again instead of screen ball, which is definitely a win for the Orcs, I'd say.
Yeah, because the Orcs are quite happy to just base up that cage and force the elves to roll dice.
They're also quite happy to just sit here and foul these 2 blodge steppers over and over.
Yeah, I mean, every turn, you've got 2 of them on the floor. They are constantly stunned. I think possibly Coke Guy will feel a little bit frustrated that we've not found a removal. I think, in all likelihood, you should have statistically found a removal on one of those players by now. Because, of course, getting the removal would allow you to focus the other one.
And yeah, we are forced into some slight cage. It's not a full cage, but, you know, a little more condensed of a setup than normal.
I guess 2 to 3, Glava's right, 2 to 3 is a good movement up as well. This is a good blitz because this allows us to dodge this this blitzer out with the knockdown. We did need the knockdown for that to be worthwhile. But we get it, and we can keep that tackle occupied. So good recovery from Wenteros. And this is what Wenteros is good at. His control of the pitch with this team has been really strong all throughout these playoffs.
I mean, to be fair, like, you could almost argue that he controls the Orc side of the pitch now, because those 3 extra players who we just freed up on the left can fill out a screen if you wanted to move forwards and behind the Orcs. So if they spend their time fouling and doing other things in the middle, then you can go past them very easily.
Of course, we have said that the Orcs are perfectly happy with this idea of just playing for attrition, but the problem is if we're giving up pitch position to play for attrition and then not getting the attrition, it's similar to what we saw in the Viking Cup match. In the first half, Viking Cup, I think, maybe managed 1 removal, despite multiple Mighty Blow tackle hits, fouls, you name it. His dirty player was sent off immediately. But then all of a sudden, from like turn 8 to turn 14, the removals came in thick and fast, so it can change really, really quickly. I think, yeah, we'll probably see the Orcs make a little bit of a barrier this way so that the Elves are funneled down one side of the field. I think we don't want to allow them to switch back over this way.
I fully expect the blitz to be on that front blodge stepper too.
Yeah, the only problem this time is he's got a bit more of a challenge to make the follow-up block a 2 dice.
I think you just have to use the dirty player.
Well, then take your foul first. The foul first isn't bad because you're not giving up that much pitch position based on what you're going to have anyway if the worst happens and it is a failed bribe send-off.
I think a failed bribe send-off is pretty bad here.
It often is. It often is.
It often is, right?
It's like saying a double skull is bad here. Like, it just normally is.
Or quad. I think it's more in quad territory.
Find me a scenario where a quad skull is perfectly fine, and I'll find you someone who was so far ahead they'd already won the game anyway.
Well, I don't know about that. There's definitely quads on like.
That's a rush.
Yeah,
that's a
you
rush.
have to do the rush in order to cover the back sidestep option.
And then typically gets the POW anyway.
It's the bow anyway.
So depending on the sidestep, I think you sidestep back in front of the Black Orc, to be honest, like off the tackle.
Yeah. I don't think there's any other choices. Still nothing doing.
Yeah, cannot find a removal. Here's a
There's
removal.
a removal.
Now that's a big one. That is an armor bust. That might see an Apo. Or, with this being the Super Bowl, are we just letting this go in favor of Apoing a badly hurt or a KO?
I think you have to let it go.
Yeah, I
think he
agree.
agrees.
I
Yeah.
think that's the right choice.
The fact that it's the Super Bowl and you really need your Apo to be like impactful.
Yeah. If it was like the round of 32, I would say, yeah, okay, you can Apo that. That's fine. Because you're going to need players further through the tournament. But in the final, you're right that you want the Apo to specifically do something. You want to take no risk that Apo is going to give you no benefit because you're paying the money for it.
Yeah, and I mean, even if he just gets an MNG, right? Like, it's not any benefit in this game. And do you really care about your third Blodge Stepper for the next season? Like, obviously, it makes the team better, but...
It's the sort of player where you might have cut one of them in redraft anyway. I don't think it's an issue in Season 1 so much because we've seen most teams that have made the playoffs have got more than enough spare cash to keep their whole team.
Oh, and Winteros will definitely have more than enough cash to keep this team. It's just, you know, where do you want to end up relative to the rest of the division that you're going to be in? Because if you pull yourself in at like 1600, maybe you're giving up some pretty big inducements in those first couple games.
So the Orcs kind of did allow this easy route back through to the other side.
Yeah, but they got their benefit for it.
1 in 9 on a tackle piece. We have another follow-up block, so it's okay.
Yeah. That's a nice knockdown because it really ensures that that tackle is not going to be basing either of those two dodge players on the next turn. Unless, you know, they decide to blitz that lineman. Likewise, I wonder if he pushes sideways here, just to keep the guard from being able to move around. It's a surprisingly difficult choice, I think, whether you want to keep him based there or not.
So there is one free 2-dice block for the block guard Biggin. Sirith Ungol Patrol.
Yep, fishing for a POW and a Blodge Stepper.
And yeah, I think you can see the Orcs will just kind of retreat to the halfway line, a couple of squares back from the line. And just look to hold that center of the pitch again.
I wonder what Bullet's target is. It's probably one of these two linemen.
Yeah, you can't really go for the Blodge Stepper this time, as much as you'd like to.
I guess technically if you stood up the tackle guard and you moved the DP first, you could go after the Blodge Stepper, but be a lot of commitment. Although it'd be commitment into places where you need the players anyways, so it's not really like a huge commitment. Yeah, it looks like he is going for that Blodge Stepper now.
Okay, well, I mean, you know, shows what we know.
I mean, I see the reason for it because
you need to stand up the tackle guard.
Yeah, you need players in that part of the pitch anyways, right?
Okay, takes his free block first, which I don't mind. Both down's the right choice there, so that you have control over where that player is.
Because at the moment, he's blitzable with Frenzy.
The only problem here will be a potential counter hit on this guy. He has found the POWs with his Mighty Blow. Hasn't even needed tackle.
It was walking into a 1D as well.
Oh, it was, yeah. Because he hadn't based up that... there's a KO. Finally gets one. But had he have stepped to, like, here, then you're right. That would have been a 1-die block. In fact, even where he went was going to be a 1-die block. But it doesn't matter because we rolled the POW. Can't foul that. There is now nothing to foul.
Dirty player Orc is very sad.
And I think, yeah, I think the elves will go down this flank now. And once they've done that, they should be okay. I understand bringing the dirty player over here as like an additional piece on this side. But for me, there's little... The elves are outnumbered on this flank. They could get over here. Like, you could try and knock down this tackle guy, and if you get him, there's a channel here where to 2+ dodge for everyone to get through, and you could take this pitch position up. But it just feels like more work than just taking this flank for me.
Yeah, it just feels like the flank is the choice. I mean, there's not much time left, so...
Indeed, the flank is the choice. Now, that is technically surfable, so should something go abhorrently wrong here. Because, of course, the Orcs have that one frenzy piece. But, I mean, it's a classic, really. Save moves first. We'll get the witches forward. We'll get that wrestle dodge guy forward. And there's a couple of... Well, there's more than a few 2+s to make here. We're going to go for a wrestle hit on the guard tackle. And that will give us a follow-up 2-die block. Nice armor break. And a KO again on that guard tackle.
Very nice KO.
Would I have hated an apothecary there?
I wouldn't have.
I always think with power appos, I think people always feel more inclined to use them in the second half rather than the first half.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's strictly right. If he doesn't come back, you're going to regret not appoing that. Hit on the Mighty Blow guy.
I mean, I understand the reasoning for it because, you know, in the first half, there's a, 75% chance they come back on their own. Whereas in the second half, they were never coming back until the game was over.
You can see we're now far enough into the half that Wenteros is more comfortable leaving pieces based up against Orcs that he wants to tie up and occupy.
Yeah.
Now, there's an aggressive play where you can get at this this Wrestle Witch Elf, but it's probably going to be too aggressive for the Mighty Blow tackle to get there and have some guard in play as well, especially with this screen now in effect. This is what we've said about Wenteros all the way through these playoffs, right? His pitch control is very good, but he very rarely fails these 3+2+s out. And it's very easy to have good pitch control when you don't fail those rolls.
Yeah, 3+2+ with elves, like if you can make a lot of those, you're going to have a very good time.
So it leaves the Orcs chasing shadows again, somewhat. As I said yesterday, I remember speaking to Viking Cop after that semi-final, and he was like, yeah, really good coach, but he does not fail the crucial stuff that I'm trying to get him to fail, ever. And it makes my life much more difficult.
We're going to get multiple shots at this dodge guy.
Dub Skull. First Dub Skull of the game. We get the POW after that.
You almost feel like the Orcs need a couple more removals.
There's a KO.
They've got time to make them.
The magic figure I'd said for the semi-final against Viking Cop was somewhere in the region of wanting the elves to be down to like 7 players. That's when suddenly they haven't got linemen to protect their good pieces anymore. They are struggling to be effective themselves. They can't really screen off properly. So 7 for me is the magic figure. We've got 3 off the field now. But the problem for the Orcs is they've lost 2 themselves.
Yeah, though they have 2 bench and the elves only have 1. But again, double KO on both sides. We'll have to see how the dice do with that, because, you know, sometimes dice are cruel and they don't wake up.
So we've not blitzed with the Mighty Blow. Implies we have a different idea in mind. We're going to go with the Ball Carrier. Get the knockdown on the rookie here.
To be fair, that guy, that Ball Carrier, is one of the best hitters on the team right now because of the pro.
Yeah, he can have another go at stuff when he needs to.
Like he's got pseudo tackle, right?
Gets his guard in position. Protect the Mighty Blow tackle. Now that sideline is not an easy take.
I wonder if you just like rush and score.
The reason it's not an easy take is you can blitz this guy off, but the real problem is that the best pieces you've got available to do the blitzing have frenzy and can end up getting themselves into a bit of bother quite easily.
I'd be very enticed to just score this turn. I don't think, like, Orcs, you have to be too worried about a 2-turn response from them. They're a pretty difficult team to get 2 turns with. Definitely worth spending a bit of time thinking about.
All going forward, we are going to try and find the stall here.
Okay. A little scary. There's a bunch of very important 2+s coming up. Yeah, I don't know what I think. I think he should just score personally. And I mean, technically he still can because he hasn't moved anyone else. But I think just the number of 2+s you need to make this safe, I would rather just take the 1 2+ to score.
Yeah, well, we've taken the 1 2+ that would have had us scoring. Now, presumably the Mighty Blow Witch Elf is going to come round. No, we're going to go with dodge from tackle with the wrestle.
Into a frenzy trap.
Into a 1-die frenzy trap.
Why didn't we stand that 1 elf up? I think that was a mistake. Easily could have stood up the elf on the floor to turn this off from being a frenzy trap.
This same comment is kind of what we said about Wenteros's run, right? Whenever there's been iffy situations like that, the dice have been kind.
Also, when you protect this, I guess you do have sidestep on the witch, so it's not terrible. But you're definitely giving the witch, like your good witch, up as a target this turn. If she can stand there, she's not surfable, but she's definitely a target.
Three plus 2+ is once again good. With the dodge skill, to be fair.
You always can't put any more players up here, though, because there's not enough room to escape from that frenzy.
At this point, if you're Coke Guy, you're probably not getting the ball, so I think you just throw the Mighty Blow tackle at one of these witches. And I would be willing to probably spend my reroll, because I haven't got a 1-turn threat, because I haven't got a goblin and a troll on the team, right? So
I almost feel like you have to target the Wrestle Witch, because that frees your dirty player up for a foul then. Like,
yeah,
target her, get a foul on her.
What you want from this turn is a removal. And ideally, one that's going to stick as well.
The other choice, I believe, would be to go after the sidestepper. The last blodge step. And foul that. Like, you can... But again, like, that required... If it wasn't sidestep, you could foul it easily, but... Maybe you're taking a block with your dirty player on the witch, and then blitzing the sidestepper.
You know, you've got an option to blitz a sidestepper, and then you can put Orcs on the ball and force that 2+, but Winter are still with 3 rerolls in pocket, and is largely going through this game without any concept of needing them.
You're definitely not putting Orcs on the ball. I don't think you want Orcs on the ball because they could be surfed.
Oh, dirty player
this
finds
is what
a
I
pow.
expected. Yeah. I guess you could put Orcs on the ball this way. Because you could just blitz down the lineman now?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a less valuable target than trying to get one of these witches, isn't it?
Yeah.
You could foul with, like, the rookie blitzer if you really wanted to foul that witch. You've got a bribe. I wouldn't hate it if you can get a lot of assists in there.
I wouldn't hate it either. I wonder if we're going to put players on the ball to try and force failure.
I think we have eyes for the Dark Elves' best player.
It's certainly an option. Yeah.
Gets the power
There's
once
a pow.
again. Can we find the armor break this time? Yes, we can. And it's a stun. Another disappointing result. Would you take what would be... You could have a 3-assist foul here. Would you take it?
I think you do.
It's not with dirty player. Okay, now it's only a... It's not going to be a foul. We're just going to put players on the ball. We're hoping...
We're basically saying
snake.
2+ or bust.
Yeah, there's no other way of doing this other than 2+ or bust either. Every other option is like... actually... You could maybe... I was wondering if you could chain push him through, but no, not quite. I think you just roll your 2+ and be done with it here.
Yeah, I mean, you were 2+ or bust last turn to score anyways, so, I mean, not a big change, right?
There's your 2+. Easily done. Shadow Dragons have the lead. Did they fail a roll in that whole half? They had 1 in 9 blitz, which they had to follow up block on anyway. And I'm trying to think if they failed a dodge in the whole half other than that.
I don't think they did.
It's pretty phenomenal.
Well, they have failed a roll. Here we go.
Well, they failed a KO recovery.
As the Blodge Blitzer is KO'd still.
So they're down to 10. But yeah, it's hard to beat a well-coached Dark Elf team that does not fail. Now, obviously, you can get into discussions around, well, how many dice did he leave himself having to roll? All that sort of thing. But, you know, strictly speaking, for every 6 dodges you roll, you should expect to fail one of them and need a reroll. If you don't have the dodge skill.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely rolled a few ones on dodges with the dodge players, but those are the players to roll them on.
Exactly. And I mean, another part of it as well is Coke Guy wasn't really basing up very heavily because he was more focused on having assists for
fouls. Yeah.
And those fouls didn't really get him much. The good news is he still got his bribe, but he didn't really get much.
And he did get one. He did get one.
Yeah, one Blodge Stepper is good. You'd have liked a bit more.
I'd liked a bit more because there were some pretty juicy fouls in there.
Chance for an SPP on this guy. And then, similar to Viking Cop, we hope that the damage starts coming now. 3 dice block there. First knockdown is good. Here's my question. Do you foul turn 8? My answer is yes, but not with the dirty player. Because you would rather burn the bribe in the second half than on a random turn 8 part of the first half when the player could come back anyway, is my stance on that.
I think that's fair, and I think you want to bring Farmer onto the pitch in order to make that foul with.
Sweet Ice Frenzy hit.
Or I guess Conscript 2 could do it, right? Yeah.
Gets a knockdown, gets the break, gets a KO.
Start.
It's another roll to make. Now, the problem is there's lots of Orcs that can't assist one of these fouls. Making it with the rookie is fine. I quite like making it with the rookie, to be honest.
Yeah, I think the rookie is the play.
And the rookie gets us a stun, which, ironically enough, would have been a KO if we'd had Dirty Player. So, what do I know?
Those are definitely the types of results that make you, question your life.
Yeah. So,
question your choices.
Half-time, it is not going Coke Guy's way particularly so far. Wenteros looking comfortable the halfway stage, and both KOs come back. So, that's a full Dark Elf team. Pair of sixes, easy as you like. Meanwhile,
full Dark Elves is not what they wanted for the second half.
Yeah, the big one's still out as well. Wenteros just playing this game on easy mode in the first half. That's not strictly fair. This is something we talked about in Viking Cop's game last week as well against Wenteros in the semi-final. You've got to make sure your mentality, this is just because things haven't gone your way in the first half, now has no impact on how the dice will go in the second half. The only thing you can do is continue to do the right thing each turn. And just hope that it swings a bit.
Quickly those elves fell against Viking Cop.
It really can turn quickly in this game. Now, this is where the frenzy becomes a little bit of a liability on these LOS/blitzers to start this half.
Classic offset style of Protect 5.
Yeah, it's a bit of a pain for the Bash team, isn't it? Because you kind of have to commit players over this way. What it's really good is like short kick blitz scenarios.
Yeah.
Where all these players have basically got their full movement because there's nobody you have to run about. The Orcs have basically got to stick to the same approach. They've got to get a hold of the ball, get it protected, and they have to keep punching as many things as they can, keep basing as many things as they can without giving up too many blocks the other way, and keep fouling while they've got that bribe and that dirty player on the field. Even if the bribe goes, you keep fouling with the dirty player, and that's a blitz for Wenteros with a deep kick.
Lucky about the kick location is all I have to say for the Orcs here, because short kick, and this game could have been over very quickly. All in all, this is probably not going to be much more than a perfect defense in terms of value. Just like maybe one blitz.
Blitz
that's
this
about
guard guy, yeah.
Yeah.
Go with the mighty blow. Can't re-roll anything here. Don't need to. Roll the pow. No break, but it does mean that there's an Orc on the floor.
Does also mean that this witch is in danger of being blitzed and fouled. Maybe not fouled now. There's a little bit of support, but definitely I would think she would be the blitz target.
Look, we're now in the same situation as the semi-final overtime, where the concern here is, what if we fail this pickup?
What if we double fail the pickup? Yeah.
If we 1 in 9 the pickup, oh god, nightmare scenario. Really, really problematic scenario. Are we willing to chuck a rush with the blitzer to hit the witch elf?
It looks like we are. Because that's the only reason why you would make that specific hit with the big gun. Like, the original plan was obviously to go diagonals with the blitzer, the big guns, and then make the frenzy hit. But this definitely was, I need to free this frenzy to come back.
Blitz first or pick up first?
Oh. Blitz has a rush on it. Ugh.
Potentially 2 rushes on it.
I'd say if you're doing the blitz first, you need to move the other blitzer next to the ball. Actually, no matter what you do, you're moving that blitzer next to the ball first. You can't just put a naked dice roll in this position right now. I believe you have to move that guy before doing anything. It's just too easy for the elves to get this ball if you don't, if you fail your first dice roll. Yeah, I love this movement. Shore up your position, then make your dice rolls.
Big questions being asked of the Orcs. They've got to get this right. And by get this right, I mean don't fail critical dice rolls. The irony of the game is you can play this in perfectly the right order, and it can still go wrong.
Oh, yeah.
And the worst irony is the way dice work sometimes, you could play this in the wrong order, and that would actually have worked.
Yeah, definitely putting a lot of respect into the elves here with the ordering of this turn.
Oh, no, he's not going to go for the witch. He's going to go for the blitzer instead. So we've bailed out on that plan.
That was the safer play.
Yeah.
It was a safer play.
It will put tackle on the witch.
I like the upside of targeting the witch, but this is, a good second target and is slightly safer.
He is desperate for a removal. Absolutely desperate.
Yeah.
Gets the break, gets the KO. That might be a power appo.
Yeah, I think I'd definitely be tempted. I'd be tempted for sure to power appo that.
Pickup's good. I wonder if on the power appo front we're thinking, well, we've got 2 more blodge steppers. In fact, no, we haven't. We've only got 1 more blodge stepper because the other one's injured. I might personally have appoed that. But I guess the argument is with the dirty player and the bribe knocking around, is he just, if you appo him into a stun, are you just committing him to getting fouled for the next however many turns anyway? So is it actually not worth it? Why have we stood there? I guess the witch could have come around the back to hit the ball, but the witch can still hit the ball there. The Dark Elves could get a 1 dice on this. I think they'd struggle for recovery, but the wrestle guy has got a 3-2-2-2 to hit the ball on a 1 dice.
Mm.
The 3's from tackle.
A lot of tackle in the way, at least, but I feel like you could easily recover this with the witch too. On a 3-2. Like, if you're willing to chuck your dice rolls, this could be...
Oh, like, you can win the game this turn.
Yeah,
if you're willing,
you can score.
If you're willing to roll the dice, and you're able to roll those dice, you could win the game this turn.
I don't think he'll go for it. I think we've watched enough Wenteros games to know he won't go for it.
Well, I don't know, in overtime against Viking Cop, when the chance was there to score... That was the first time we really saw, right, you know what, I am willing to throw these dice now.
Yeah. I think if there wasn't as much tackle on the wrestle guy, for instance, then maybe but it's like a 3-2-2. Two of those dice rolls have tackle on them.
It's one of those
it's one of those things where, like, I definitely think that it's more of a consideration in Blood Bowl 3 because of the fact that you can throw 3 full rerolls.
He's going for this. He is going for this.
He is going for it. Yeah. I don't hate it. I like when players play aggressively like this, and when they see their chance, they're like, you know what? I have rerolls. I can do this.
So there is a point in this sequence where you'll go, I wouldn't use a reroll here. And then so far into the sequence, you would go, right, this would be the point where I'd consider a reroll or multiple rerolls. I think if you like
the first 3+.
The first 3+, if he fails that, you're not going to bother.
It's also like you can come into like these like very conditional thinkings, like, okay, I'm willing to roll the first 3+, but I'm not willing to roll a second reroll until it's like this far into it. Like,
yeah,
you know, I'm willing to roll my first reroll up to the from this point on. I'm willing to roll my second reroll from this point on.
Here we go. Oh, the first one does fail from tackle. Are we willing to reroll that?
First 3+.
There's the question.
This is the first dice he's failed all game.
I wouldn't, but I can see why you would.
I could definitely see why, and the reason why would start very much with that witch's life. If you know what I mean.
Yeah. Oh, decision time. Using up time bank, thinking about this, possibly even plugging the odds into something like Samba, takes the reroll.
Yeah, I think the witch's life was the decider there. Oh, we're going for it. I love it. Oh,
gets the sack. Now, Scatter's going to be crucial. Armor break. Wow. Hugely rewarded.
Not even an easy Apo. Oh, man. That was a huge one.
Wrestle, kill skill, or what? Oh, and look at that.
Oh my god, that's a score almost.
Look at that.
I'm putting every reroll into this now.
That is the perfect scatter. It could not have been better.
You could not ask for a better scatter.
Coke Guy needs a critical fail here. There is a 1 on the first dodge. We're going to re-roll it. Are we all in? Pickup is good. 2 rushes to probably win the Super Bowl.
Rushes with a reroll. I take it every time.
I think he might not. I think you might think the Orcs can't recover this.
Ah, that tackle's too close. And you don't have any players to move to, like, base him.
Oh, this is tense. This is really tense. What do you do?
He has a minute left of his time bank.
The trophy is right here.
He won the game with this, right?
The trophy is right here.
It's 2 GFIs away from you.
Oh, he's failed the first one.
He's in.
2-0. Shadow Dragons used everything they had on that, but they lead this game 2-0.
Like, as we were saying, like, are you willing to re-roll that first 3+? And the answer is, well, if you don't re-roll it, you know, you're not going to win the game on the spot. And your witch was kind of in a bad spot, to be honest. I think it was definitely a good choice. Obviously, with hindsight, it worked. We know it worked, so there's that. But, like, even without hindsight, I think it was a good choice. Whew. Like, how many times are you going to get that good of a shot at just winning the game?
This is kind of the thing we've talked about for years since the rule set came out, about the idea that as an elf coach, your odds of making those big plays are much, much better because you can take the chance of throwing every reroll you've got at the situation.
Yeah, in Blood Bowl 2, that witch is on the floor.
Well, Blood Bowl 2, that failed at the first possible scenario, right?
Yeah, you're just not willing to reroll it.
Because we would have failed the first possible action, so we just wouldn't have bothered re-rolling it. In this game, would have been in a totally different position. Coke Guy knows he has to push forward now, and the problem here is, even when he scores, we've seen Wenteros is so good at hanging onto the ball. So good.
And Dark Elves are, like, probably one of the hardest teams to stop from just hanging onto the ball because of that dump off and the new rules around it, because he just gets like a free 3+. Is it still sunny? Actually, I hadn't bothered to. It probably is, right? Because we've had like blitz and perfect defense as the kickoffs.
High kick. Well, boy, we
Yeah,
could
it's
have used
still
that
sunny,
last time.
so I guess dump off is a little less good when it's sunny. That's a really good catch because we don't have sure hands anymore.
Oh, good point. Yeah, he's injured. And it's a
He's
serious
injured.
injury as well.
Because obviously the one die against him with wrestle is going to injure him.
Wrestle, kill, skill. Well, I mean, yeah, the Orcs need removals now. They have to. This is the sort of thing. You can do it. You can come back from 2-0 down. But you've got to be willing. There's no questions to ask about any of this. There is a KO. Anything where you go, maybe I should do that, you have to be willing to just do it now.
You have to throw a foul this turn.
Yeah.
Even if it's just onto a lineman.
You've got to foul. You've got to blitz everything you can. You've got to foul everything you can. You have got to... You can't wait and let this happen. You've got to force this to happen now. Because realistically, we saw from Blood Bowl 2, how many people made it to the Super Bowl a second time? Not many.
Yeah. How many people made it to the first time? You can't all be the sage, right?
Positioning's got to be perfect because the elves can come around the side and hit this ball, so we've got to get this right.
Yeah.
Not fouling with the dirty player.
Oh, I don't like it. I mean, I guess I understand it because of positioning, but...
There's the blitz on the... I mean, I can understand wanting to kill this guy.
Yeah, definitely. Filbert Princess is by far my MVP of this game.
This, for me, isn't enough.
The Witch might have scored the touchdown, but we all know who the real star was.
I think this will be an easy blitz on the one scoring threat, and then the Orcs will have to do it again next time.
Yeah, I don't think there was much, chance of the Orcs scoring in 2. I think they were always setting up for like 3 or 4 here. But, you want to go fast because the more turns the elves have, the better they can just, retreat backwards with the ball and just hide it,
in a weird way, I actually would have preferred the foul and sort of leaving this blitzer slightly exposed. Because if you leave the ball slightly exposed, it actually would ask Wenteros the question of, do I want to hit the ball or do I just hit this guy? Who's the guy upfield? The decision is now already made because we can't go and hit the ball. So we now just take down the scoring threat.
Blitzers, right? Yeah, we're hitting both blitzers because we got...
No reroll on this. Double skull! Oh, ooh, now then.
Okay, that could be huge.
Now then.
Unfortunately, it's not a removal.
Shouldn't have spent all your rerolls, lol. I'm joking. Of course you should. You're 2-0 up.
Of course you should. Yeah.
So, does Coke Guy look at this? I mean, he can't make the handoff.
Off. Yeah, you can't hand off. I think that blitzer went 1 square too far forwards.
Blitzer only needs 1 rush, but we have to pass to him, which is going to be
You know the funny thing is, I think the
plus?
blitzer would be in a much better spot if he got double pushed by the Witch into a double skull instead of the first one being the double skull.
God, it's all working out Wenteros's way. Even he's even rolling double skulls tactically.
Okay, what I do think you should be doing here, though, is you should be fouling something this turn. Can you foul the Witch? Now, you obviously can't do it with Dirty Player, and you can't even do it with the Orc Lineman. But you could foul it with something. Like, you still have the bribe. I feel like if you're not fouling that witch, what are you doing?
The dirty player's too far back to foul the witch.
Well, yeah, obviously.
But you just have to go and foul the witch.
There's a bigot. You know, the bigot can go foul the witch, right?
I guess so.
Like,
This is
right. They're down 2-0 in the Super Bowl.
Well, this is
He
admittedly...
gets sent off, right?
At 2-0, you're right, they're 2-0 down in the Super Bowl. The time for sensible Blood Bowl is long since gone. Are we actually just going to punch with this guy?
No, that was the fouler.
I mean, he's got the big one back here who could still make a rush to foul. I think he's not going to foul, ultimately.
Yeah, I don't think he is, but it feels wrong. She's on the floor and she's asking for it.
Blitz on the dirty player. He's just trying to take as many blocks as possible.
I think he's trying to get a hit onto this sidestepper with the Mighty Blow Frenzy. Because if he can knock
the witch
down...
elf is what we want.
Okay.
Armor break. And a KO. Okay, see what I mean? The removals are arriving. There's another pow.
Pow. Pows are good. Runner? Runner could be a big one, because the runner is important, I think, for the next drive. The dump off.
Armor break injury.
Ooh, big. That's
and
super
seriously
big.
hurt means it's not an immediate Appo. It's not going to be an Appo. Well, the Orcs have been angered, it seems.
However,
every elf except one is on the floor or on the sideline.
They have still not really got a good scoring threat, because it's still just the one.
Yeah, and an easily blitzable scoring threat. But, I mean, they could score on turn 13, and that gives them time.
It gives them time. They still have time. So one of the things like you have to say is like the elves got their chance early. It came early enough that the orcs technically haven't lost the game yet, but it's definitely difficult for them to get back into it. Like if that turnover and score had happened on 14, like this is over.
It needs magic dice. I find it genuinely remarkable how we were talking about how perfect Wenteros's dice had been up until the moment of going 2-0 up, and then they've just fallen to pieces here. They've just fallen to pieces.
Yeah, well, you know what? You don't need the dice anymore if you're Wenteros. I think he can't complain. I'd take, you know, quad skulls every turn to have that 2-0 lead.
Blood Bowl.
During this drive.
Every game's a new challenge. Every game's a puzzle.
I think you do try to get this, you know, knockdown on the one scoring threat. I think that's smart.
And you should blitz it, but if you roll double pushes here, you're going to be putting yourself onto tackle. Bit like that. I think you take the boat down here. Okay, I was wrong.
I think he's willing to take a 2+ off tackle.
No reroll for this 2+. Do you just stay there?
You could. It's a choice.
Do you just stay there?
You could stay there and, like, move the wrestle to just base up both the tackles from behind. Take a 1D onto the tackle with the Blodge Stepper.
Wenteros's time bank is in big trouble if this game goes to overtime.
It's very big
trouble.
trouble.
One dice skull.
We did the 1D. Ah!
Oh.
I think it was the right call. I think it was the right call.
There is no orc that can score without a chain push play, but there are chain push plays that are possible.
It's tough with the sidestep. Wait, no, that's not sidestep. Sidesteps the guy that's on the floor.
Yeah.
What am I talking about? It's like there's like a big sidestep like sitting. Like,
it's
right
awful
over
sometimes,
him,
isn't it?
Exactly
it's awful
where
sometimes.
it would be.
Armor break. And a stun.
Ooh, did not get her down on the first try.
She'll step backwards next to her friend.
She'll step sideways next to the orc that's downed.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Okay, you were making the call
It
better
just
than
limits the orc movement more. It's also harder to hit her with the frenzy. You know what? Like, I guess you just blitz with the tackle line orc, but I wouldn't be against a jump over with the frenzy tackle to blitz the witch. Like, it's a 3+. I don't know why, but I always look for these jump over plays. I just think they're fun. But again, we're not scoring this turn. Are we sideline caging?
Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. This game has got everything. This game has got everything. The problem is you can't go and hit the witch here because she could just step onto the ball if you don't knock her down. You cannot hit the witch elf. I mean, you can. You always can.
You go with frenzy.
No, but if you go with frenzy, but she'll just step to here, and then she can step into the cage if you don't knock her down. The only player I like, it's the better choice.
Yeah, I think it is the better choice.
And remember that the witch can jump over that dark elf now because of that push decision to get out of there.
I think it was still the right push position, but yeah.
Obviously, the jump over would be a 6+ because it's the worst of the two rolls, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the worst of the two. She pretty much can't jump over. One in 9, but we have block. Heard it's a good skill.
The Orcs, to be fair to them, doing their best to make a game of this.
They're doing a good job. But it's a 13 score. Ugh. There's only 3 turns to score back as Orcs. On defense, that's tough. I really would have pushed for a turn 12 score.
Hear me out, but you can chain push the witch elf onto the ball. If you bring the wrestle guy around here and then blitz the block. No, you would need one more player in there. Yeah, you need to blitz the guard guy.
You need to blitz the guard, you need the diagonal.
Yeah. Yeah, you need to fill this space to do it, but you could. It's technically possible.
I mean, it's 3-3-2, and you have rerolls for them.
We're just going to go for the tackle mighty blow, I think.
I mean, it certainly would have been a very interesting attempt to try and knock the ball down. So we're just
this
gonna
Orc still needs a rush to score, but Coke Guy does have all of his rerolls available.
Yeah. Are you uphilling something with this witch? Are you standing your dirty player up and fouling the Mighty Blow Tackle Frenzy Blitzer?
Honestly, yeah. All you're really doing, I mean, that gives you a 3+2+ out now.
He's making a double screen here because he can do a 3-2 out through tackle both times.
Oh no, he's going to snake that dodge. He's going to snake the dodge.
That is a snake. So, we're just going to, we're going to try and knock down the witch. Actually, do we even touch the witch? I mean, I think you do because you need damage, right? You need that sidestepper to not be an option to hold the ball. 3 die here, yeah. That makes sense. Do you do it with the non... No, you just do it with the tackle guard. Okay, question. If you get this witch down, do you foul her before scoring?
Oh, you've still got the bribe. There's the 3 dice. There's the POW.
Like, this is a tough choice, right?
Well, armor break, and
we still have to make the choice.
It's done.
I mean, we're clearly blitzing the sidestepper. Is there a square we need to cover? Yes, we've covered it. We're double rushing because...
Nah, I think you just blitz the dirty player here, don't you? You don't use a frenzy piece. You just blitz the dirty player out the way, and then you've got a single 2+ to score.
Yeah.
We need to roll dice, but we don't need to overly roll dice.
I think he just wants to get rid of sidesteppers, though.
But the sidestepper can get in your way. It's just... I just
so
don't know.
bad. It's just so
I just think it's the wrong call.
It's definitely
to go.
the wrong call, yeah. But I mean, we have to think about, like, you know, what are your odds of getting the ball from the elves if you don't remove one of these 2 sidesteppers?
We're gonna make this a 3 dice, right? We're gonna make this a 3 dice, and he is determined.
We're taking 5 dice on him, yeah.
The problem is,
dice.
oh no, okay.
Oh, no, we're going. Okay, that's a good way to do it.
That's good. That I like. Because that
Cover
was
all
the
of the
square that
angles.
you didn't want that guy to step. Because that was
Yeah.
going to be the problem square. But this is going to need 2 rushes to score this turn. Who needs Mighty Blow? Gets the KO.
Ooh, okay.
Now I'd appo that.
Absolutely.
I would appo that. Yeah, there's the power appo.
Yeah,
Good call.
100%. 100% Appo.
Oh, we should have moved another Orc first, but we don't need to. We've scored. Why didn't we move the other Orc? I don't know. 2-1.
I think
Game on.
the idea about not moving the other Orc, I mean, it was free, but, like, if you failed one of those GF5s, you're losing.
Yeah.
Let's be fair.
Yeah, probably. Oh, okay.
2 Ks out. 2 KOs stay out. That's 8 players?
elves?
Is that enough?
I think so. I think 8 elves should be enough. Kick-off event
Should be
dependent.
enough. What we really, really need here is a blitz.
No runner, of course. So I think one of the Blodge Steppers will have the job of carrying the ball.
Yeah, Blodge Stepper get the ball 100%. Not the Witch? No, Witch. I think you don't want Frenzy to be blitzing, so I think you give it to the Witch.
I think
Is that
the
a
thing.
good shot?
Yeah, I think so. I think
Yeah.
from a neutral perspective here,
A blitz would be amazing.
well, no, in terms of like, it'll very much come across as if everyone's supporting the Orcs at the moment, which is not necessarily true
yeah,
or
yeah.
fair.
No,
But
we're
it's
just
more
supporting
about-
more Blood Bowl.
Yeah, we as a neutral, we just want the best game as a spectacle to watch, right? And the idea the Orcs shouldn't give this up. This is an Orc defensive setup. They've gone all mans on the line.
I don't hate it. I hate it for one reason,
They can get around the side.
and that's this reason. So this is the reason I hate it. Have you seen what Wentros has done?
Well, if you roll a blitz, you can't do anything with it.
Yeah. He's stopped every single player from moving on a blitz.
Now,
I
it
feel
should
like
be
there at least should have been 2 Orcs back 1.
it should be all mans, but some one square back. All mans
Yeah.
like this is too much,
Yeah.
and that player can get surfed. But also, the elves can pretty easily get round the side of this and have a player in scoring range. And if you go 2 touchdowns behind again, nothing you can do. So this was a bad call from Coke Guy.
I think it was a desperate call, right?
You had the strength of players and the guard to not need to do this. Now, the quick snap works the other way, in that we can't move any of these players off the line, but the kick is going very, very short to the wrestle guy.
Oh, whoa, what is that kick?
He's dropped it. It's going to be a touchback.
Okay, that's very good. It's in the Blodge Stepper's hands.
Yeah. So he's just going to go and chill in the backfield for now, I would have thought. Oh, 1 in 9, no reroll, which will remain based by the mighty blow.
Has this opened the avenue for the Orcs? The fail on the very first block.
This is every elf coach's nightmare scenario. 2-0 up, cruising, and all of a sudden, it's just starting to go wrong. And
okay.
You gotta keep calm.
Do we just dodge our dodge players backwards?
Yeah.
And say, you know what, Witch? It's been nice knowing you, but I'm winning a Super Bowl.
Oh yeah,
here.
you don't care if either of these witches die now. Oh, he snaked the dodge! Oh my god!
This is a game. This is a game.
A quad 1.
Game alert. Game alert.
What is going on? Move some orcs forward before you roll dice. Come on.
Yeah, I would have just straight bombed some of those middle orcs forwards. I mean, the blitz is clearly on this wet wrestle witch, right?
You could knock down every elf bar the ball carrier here. Could, you might not, because, you know, it's hard to roll that many knockdowns. You've got blodge pieces to hit. But yeah. Every elf except the ball carrier could be on the floor here.
And even the ones that not on the floor, like you could just sideline the one on the left.
Honestly, I've never seen
the one on the right.
Anything like it. He didn't fail a single roll in the first half, Wenteros. He has failed every roll pretty much, other than the big play to score, which cost him all of his rerolls. What a game! Tackle hit on the wrestle. Down. Armor break.
That's a big one.
Stun's good enough right now. Tackle going forward to pressure the ball.
Good spot for it.
Double push is going to make life a little difficult.
It means there's an elf to play with. At least.
The witch is the one that we want, isn't it? Come round the side to hit the dirty player.
Don't like the tackle going to the side. But it was the only player that could go,
yeah.
So...
You're going to stay put. Now the witch is going to... This potential frenzy trap 1 dice set up here.
Yeah.
I might roll the block on this side first.
You could run the middle guy.
Tell you what I would do as well. I'd consider fouling the wrestle dodge piece. Although apparently he's a snake merchant now. Pow! On the blodger.
Oh, that's huge, because now the dirty player's free.
Oh, and I pushed him backwards, but we get the break. And we get the stun. Double skull on the witch.
We have rerolls.
You should reroll. You should reroll.
Yes. Don't want that player standing. I think
double
that's a mandatory.
Pow.
It's so funny when you reroll dub skulls. It like invariably goes double pow.
It's a 1 in 36.
It's like
and
if
a 1 in
another
36,
dub
right?
skull. Yeah, another dub skull or a dub pow.
Armor break injury.
Oh man, this game is.
If ever I could distill the power of Big O friendship. If ever, you should be fouling. You've got a bribe.
Come on, you have a bribe.
Not fouling is almost criminal.
It should have been run over to the right, the middle, and foul the wrestle dodge. Like that's what it should have been. Right?
Yeah,
that's the only player you care about.
Oh,
you need to stop the elves from coalescing on the sideline.
This is a very spicy game all of a sudden.
Do we just like sideline cage it like halfway up this sideline?
It's the old decision about do you go and stand in your own corner? Remember having these debates years ago. Do you just go and stand in your own corner?
There's still 2 more turns for the Orcs. Can we get enough people? I think we can, because I think we can get enough people to block these off, right? Like Purple Rose, he wasn't knocked down. He can go block the tackle off.
Remember as well, you've got no reroll here.
The wrestle dodge can come and base up the block guard Biggin, and then you can just hide in the back right corner.
Oh, man, I would not want to be in... I mean, turn 10, I'd have loved to have been in Winteros's position. Right now, not so much. We are going for the corner.
It's the corner play. I think it's going to be 2+ dodge, base up the tackle guard. 3+2+ base up the block guard. 2+ get in the way of the base, the tackle, mighty blow. Frenzy. With the dirty player. I think that like it's just base now as the elves. Like you just got to base as many players as you can. It's a 2+, a 3+2+, and a 2+ to base all these players. Yep. These exact bases.
Exactly as described.
This is all he could do, and it's all he needs to do because, like, he just needs a couple turns to win.
What? Oh, wow, there's some dice. What? And then we've run out of time. Have we run out of time? No, we just pressed end turn. We've got 17 seconds of time bank left. If this did go to overtime, that's a problem.
I mean, it's definitely a problem, but ugh. So is the no rerolls.
Okay, so
and the dwindling player supply.
Do you just go... Do you blitz with the tackle guy and just go and stand on this guy in the corner? And just base him with tackle?
Yeah, I have to.
Oh, we don't. Oh, I don't know how much I like that one.
Getting our frenzy forwards.
I mean, the elves will punt this, given the
I think
opportunity.
the reason for that... Okay, the reason he did that is that the frenzy tackle was never getting in range of the ball, whereas the guard tackle is still in range of the ball next turn, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So he's thinking to himself, can I put 2 tacklers in range of the ball? And that was the only way to do that.
He's got to leave a blitzer in the backfield. Because I think there's a real risk of the elves just punting this out of the range of the orc players. I can understand what he wants to do is he wants to make sure the elves can't make a cage on the next turn.
I'd be more scared of that in Blood Bowl 2, but wildly inaccurate. Just makes that less of a thing in this game.
1 in 9, but we have
sad.
block. Oh, this is tense.
I think I'd be more scared of like a pass going to like the Witch Elf on the left side of the pitch.
Yeah.
Than a punt.
There's your pout. Follow that.
Yeah. Follow it, but make sure you leave it on the DP.
I mean, I think all the elves are going to try and do is just stay exactly where they are and just... I think you need to foul. You need to foul one of these elves.
Yeah, you definitely need to foul with the rookie.
Because otherwise, all they're going to do is stay exactly where they are and screen it off.
That wrestle can definitely get there to screen. And so can the other one. You have to foul the downed one. It's just too close. It can screen.
You have to foul it.
Yeah.
Genuinely, match critical foul that needs to be made here.
I do not like the
I don't know where he's going. We're going to make the foul. Doesn't get the break. Ooh. Now then.
Okay, where does the witch get to? All the way back on the left, and you throw the ball to her?
I mean, throwing the ball to the witch is as good as a punt, right? It's very sunny.
Yeah.
It's a 4+ pass.
It's a 5+, right?
Well, it'll be a 5+ because of very sunny. It's going to be a 6. You need to roll a 6 with no reroll on the pass.
Yeah, it's nothing. You're still just cornering, I think.
So the punt is probably going to be inaccurate or wildly inaccurate anyway. This wrestle guy has got a 3-3-2 to go and make part of a screen.
Cornering is just better than... Cornering is better than punting.
And you've got
because
another...
if you want the ball to be put in the crowd, like, might as well have it done with Orcs having moved first.
3-3-2 to be this part of the screen, and a 3-2 to be this part of the screen. And if you stand a play here and here, you have probably done enough.
Okay, wait a minute. So if the ball moves exactly to the middle of the pitch, right?
Yeah.
And the witch can get... And you can get a screen on him, right? You can get a full screen on this player, like middle of the pitch in the end zone, 2 in front of that, 3 to the left of that, 3 to the right of that. Full screen on him.
Witch Elf on the move. And we
See, that's part of the screen. That's 1.
Yeah.
Then you move the ball to the middle. Then you dodge 3-2 with the downed elf.
I mean, you've got to roll some pretty nasty dice here. 3
And
plus,
then
2
3,
plus
3, 2.
fails. Elf is on the floor, ball in the corner.
I liked it. I like his order because I think the elf in the corner is better if you failed that dodge. And if you had made that dodge, then you move the elf and then you make the wrestle elf.
Do you want to surf this player or not?
I think not, because I think if it doesn't go out of bounds, I think Ugluk of the White Hand is the scorer. So I don't think you want to surf it.
He needs a rush to score. No, we're going to surf it. He's sending everything to the corner to surf this.
If it surfs,
no, he's not going to surf it.
Yeah, that is a surf. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
No, see, it is a surf because you can just choose to not sidestep. But he will sidestep, I think. Actually, will he not? I think you do sidestep.
No, I think you do sidestep in case he rolls push skull. You might just get away with it if he doesn't find the knockdown, right?
Like, if it was a knockdown, I think you don't sidestep and you let surf.
There's the POW. Now you stay on the sideline because you want it in the crowd.
Yeah, you want it in the crowd. You want a chance of this ball. Oh, but if you go... Okay.
Oh, it's in the crowd. Right. Where is the ball going?
Into the witch's hands.
Oh, it's in the witch's tackle zone. That is unbelievable.
We can't blitz. The perfect witch.
How did that happen?
What a good move of the witch.
Well, we're going to have to pick it up and hand off now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. None of the Orcs can make it. There's got to be a handoff to the end zone. We've got 2 rerolls for it, but we're going to need a 4+ pickup.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Oh, man. It doesn't matter who you do it with. Either way,
so
you need...
You have to do the pickup with the dirty player.
Okay.
And there's a reason for that. The dirty player does not have animosity to the blitzers, but the blitzers have animosity to the dirty player.
No, this doesn't work. Oh, he's made the dodge. He can score with a 3-2-2 here. Needs this dodge.
Oh, he could score.
Gets it.
He gets it. Oh my God. This game.
The power of friendship is strong.
Can you get any better of a Super Bowl to start Blood Bowl 3?
The Orcs, from 2-0 down in the second half, will take this game to overtime.
They still have a reroll. The Elves do not. The Elves have 17 seconds. The Orcs have 58.
Oh my God, what a game, by the way. Well, I mean, Wenderos has still got the players. The coin toss is going to be crucial, right? Because Wenderos has enough players to be able to win this game, right? So it's not over by any stretch.
Oh.
The Orcs have got less than a minute at time bank.
Oh my God, this game. Keeps giving.
Wenteros's dice have gone ice cold. Ice cold. He needs to recover that situation somehow because it's just not working. Short kick, another touchback. This is still turn 16. With the
Wrath. So I believe that one is you get 5+ argues. Okay. So we can blitz and foul something. Doesn't look like we're going to foul, though. Okay, vanity pass in the sun becomes inaccurate.
Who is going to
Here
win?
is the coin flip.
I mean, who's going to win it? Who's going to win the coin toss? I mean, the Super Bowl could ride on this. 2-2. Into overtime we go. Full complement of Orcs. The Elves will have a maximum. They have 8 players, which is enough. But they could really use the ball, couldn't they? Although Wenteros in the semi-final lost a coin flip and still won. Shadow Dragons win the toss and choose to receive. This is probably the right way around from the neutral perspective.
Yes.
This effectively, this is almost
if the smaller team gets it.
This is almost a one-day tournament overtime now. It's no time bank.
No time bank.
No rerolls
Only
for the most part.
Reroll.
How do we still have a bribe?
We've only found like 3 times.
Wide setup, I think, is good here.
Yeah,
you don't want to give up the sideline.
Very classic Chevs. You might be able to argue it's 1 square too far back, but I think it's fine. There's not a big difference between the 2 options.
Oh, you can always argue about something.
Yes, I mean, it's
always something to argue about in this game. Honestly, I think Biggins on the LOS is fine. I don't know, maybe you wanted the Elves to punch some stuff.
But they would ignore. So I guess, yeah, maybe Biggins back so they can't get punched. Like 4 Biggins along the line. Force them to a specific corner. Yeah, I probably would have put Line Orcs on the line if I was the Orcs. But then the Elves could just choose to just knock down all the Line Orcs and not try to go through. But I think you want that as the Orc team.
Is there another twist in this game somewhere?
Oh, I hope so. I mean, we've had so much good viewing. I mean, I would love to have some more twists.
It's been worth the 24-hour delay. Assuming Wenteros right now will disagree. And you will. So. I don't know what it is about the 2-0 lead specifically. It does feel bad when you give it up, right? But we just got to reset, almost pretend that we came back from 2-1 down. Solid defense.
Oh my god.
Oh wow.
Like every kickoff has been defense focused.
It has, yeah.
It's been 2 solid defenses and
it was a quick snap. But all of the players
on
the LOS.
One quick snap. Yeah, all the players on the LOS anyway, so they couldn't do anything if there was one.
What a game. But we're not done yet. First, I mean, remember, this isn't for the World Championship ticket. They've both got one of them.
But this is for the Super Bowl.
Now, of course, the problem here is you get your solid defense, and are we now giving up our nice little screen that we'd made? It's possible to get this wrong and give the Elves a chance to get a player into scoring position.
Oh, it's so easy to get this wrong. Like, I feel this is wrong. I feel like they were in a better defense.
It's the same as quick snaps on one-turn touchdowns sometimes. Sometimes you're better off just leaving it alone.
I feel like this was a better defense before. They could just give the ball to the Blood Stepper, run up field, base up this tackle frenzy, and score next turn.
I guess this was going to be my next question, right? Will Wenteros feel like he needs to win this within 2 or 3 turns? Or will we go back to the original mindset of we'll just hang on to this and we'll wait for a moment?
I feel like this very much signifies what he wants to do. He's going to wrestle down this tackle. And by wrestle him down, I mean push him.
Well, now the tackle isn't on the floor, right? And remember, if you're going to do a pick-up handoff, there's no reroll for that.
Yeah, the important part is that the Blood Stepper, who is going to be taking this ball deep, is not based anymore.
Right, but There's still a tackle player in the backfield.
Yes. Which can be based somehow.
I don't know if it's that good an idea.
You're gonna blitz down you're gonna blitz the guard tackle and base the tackle mighty blow frenzy, and just run the ball out of range of all the tackle, except for a dodge, because orc dodges never work, right?
Well, other than when they're scoring equalizing touchdowns.
We're gonna sideline cage it. We're gonna sideline cage it, right?
I think
That's
so.
what it looks like to me.
Oh, failed pickup. Oh my god.
Never mind. Never mind. Never mind.
Well, at least I think the scatter going backwards is good. I think this is really bad for Wenteros.
This witch
Double
really
pow immediately on the witch.
This witch really needed to stay standing.
That was, yeah. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
So now it's going to be a diagonal blitz such that you can push this player off the ball.
Yeah, I would have moved an orc on the ball first.
Oh,
Quad
yeah.
skulls
100%.
happen.
God, imagine if you quad skulled and lost the game because of it.
But I think Wenteros is... Well, sorry, I think Coke Guy is just vibing this from here.
Oh, this is all vibes.
I can rarely think of a game that's flipped on its head quite so much as this one. The Dark Elves were... This team, Shadow Dragons, for the first 8 turns of games...
Coke Guy's previous game?
Maybe.
Coke Guy's previous game was very similar in terms of, like, flipped on its head in a very quick amount of time.
Oh, that guard guy. So we're just putting elves on the floor, is the plan.
I don't hate putting elves on the floor. I think it's smart. You know, he's legislating for failure.
I wouldn't mind the ball. It's a rush to hit with the tackle. No, he won't foul. We know that for free. This is a rush. The rush works out. It's a 1 in 9. Last reroll.
It's alive. It's alive.
Oh,
the game is alive still. The game's alive.
Doesn't use the last reroll.
You need to put a second player on this ball, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can knock over the Blodge Stepper here, there might be a route to dodge through. Armor break injury, another head injury. This time on the dirty player. The problem is for the Shadow Dragons, they can't score on the next turn. There's no one in scoring range.
No, they can't score, but they can get Volker into a very good position.
He won't foul just because he should foul. He's 100% he should foul, but I just have the sense that he won't.
Ooh, that's a big pow. It's a big fat pow.
The game will not go to kicks. Remember REBBL overtime rules. If this game ends in a draw, the Orcs win.
Yeah, the Orcs do not need the ball. They just need to put the elves on the floor every turn. You follow for sure.
You follow.
It's not a question.
I mean, you've got a 3+3+ to go and put this guard guy like in a really horrible spot. Do you take the 3+3+? Do you just take your blocks? We just take our blocks.
I mean, the block is still pretty good because it makes the handoff a lot harder.
Well, you want to follow this, yeah. The key thing is you want to double base this Blodge Step guy. And you want to follow this up so there's no easy route down the sideline either with this dirty player block.
Yeah. Because the way that the elves get out of this is they get the ball to the Blodge Stepper and Potato up the field.
And then you should foul with this spare lineman over here. And I assume the fact that he hasn't moved means we're going to do that. I don't like not following that. And he didn't foul. Why didn't he move that guy?
He ran out of time.
He ran out of time.
Time bank. 0-0-0-0. And we were hearing the ticking.
Yeah, man.
I think the follow was eaten by the time bank too.
Stress. This is all stress for both of these coaches right now. Because now the ball is once again in the Dark Elves' court. What do we do? We can't afford to fail anything.
3+, 4+, 2+ with reroll. You gotta stand up the Blodge Stepper, wrestle down the guard with a 1D, pick the ball up in a tackle zone with the Dodger, hand it off to the Blodge Stepper, run up the field, stand up and dodge backwards so you base the tackle so it can't be freed, and then just pray.
Hope your opponent can't powfish.
I think that's the only thing you can do. You could even then move the witch to help as well afterwards, but I think that's like the sequence is you one dice the guard.
You got 40 seconds.
Yeah, you do not have much time.
And 17 seconds in time bank.
Okay,
I think
stand up, one dice. And this is the play.
I think it will become, and there's the one dice there's
works.
the knockdown.
Pick up handoff. Make sure you select the handoff key with your keyboard before picking up.
You got to dodge some tackle. He's failed it. He's failed to pick up.
He failed to pick up on the 3+. Unfortunate.
I
believe that was 100% the right play.
I think it'll become the meta in future playoffs that burning time bank in the first half is going to be a big no-no.
Yes.
Both down is perfectly fine there.
And now the Orcs have a reroll to pick this free ball up.
I mean, we'll have an early contender for the best comeback in REBBL history if Coke Guy wins this one. Certainly in Superbowl history. It's not quite the Morkening for those who've been here for a long time. But it's pretty close. Genuinely, if the Big O win this, the Big O cannot be stopped. I'm convinced of it.
Ooh, I would have liked being on the other side of that guy, but just to not allow a 2+ to pick up
Pickup
this
is
ball
good.
1 and 9's the pickup. But yeah.
Pickup is good, and it's time for an Orc potato. They are one turn away from winning the Super Bowl.
I think they can just blitz this close blitzer, and
it's
yeah,
never quite it's never quite it against elves. There's elves who can reach this.
The wrestle can't reach, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, the wrestle can't reach.
The wrestle can reach now.
Technically,
no,
I think he's still 1 away. Yeah,
because he's a lineman.
But he can base.
Well, you sidestep. Yeah, you sidestep there.
Yeah.
Because he's now being pushed into a position where he can go and help out.
Now we foul the witch.
Finally, a foul. KO is more than good enough. No send-off. Out of time bank.
Okay. Well, there's a blitz on ball.
Well, the wrestle can clear that tackle. The wrestle's got a 2 dice on the tackle.
And there's an easy blitz on ball.
2+2+ to put the Blood Stepper on the ball. As a starting point.
Do you have to go with the dodge first to make the assist?
You want this to be a 2 dice, but you're rolling more 2+.
Yeah, you have the dodge reroll, though.
Yeah.
I think it's worth.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this guy can go 2+2+2+ to assist, and this guy's got a 2+2+ to hit the ball. In fact, no, he only needs a 2+2+ to assist.
I need my action calculator. Is 3-3-2 better?
Oh no, he's failed the rush. That's the game. That's it. That's the game.
Yeah, that's the game.
Coke Guy has done it.
The Super Bowl has been won by Orcs.
Amass Orcs are the first REBBL champions. Coming from 2-0 down in the final to win it 3-2. There is someone somewhere in UTC +8 probably punching their desk in delight and letting out a few stressed screams, I would say, right now.
I mean, that was very much a game. That was impressive by both coaches. Like, Wenteros played absolutely perfectly.
Literally...
a very difficult but worthwhile line to score 2-0.
Honestly, I think
just run out of dice.
Well, his dice were kind of so bad in the second half that I think even if he'd had another reroll, it wouldn't have been enough. Maybe it might have been one more reroll might have been enough.
Yeah, I think if he could have just gotten that screen on the turn that right before the ball was served.
Instant Classic doesn't even cover it. What a game.
Yeah, what a game.
If we ever get a Super Bowl better than that for the neutral someday, I will look forward to being there. The Big O remain unstoppable. It can be 2-0 down to an Agi team in the second half of a final and still come back to win it.
Yeah, and the way, too, like, the kick, the throw-in from the crowd on that surf was not particularly kind.
And I'm sure for Wenteros, like, it'll spin through your head. What could I have done differently? What did I need to just hang on there?
I don't think he'll have a too hard of a time in his head, because I think he played pretty close to perfectly. And it just, Blood Bowl happened.
Oh, what he could have done differently is rolled a 3 when he needed a 3.
Because he needed a 3 that turn.
Well, there was a few turns in that second half where if he'd got a 3 or a 3+2+ or anything like that, he would probably have had enough players to screen it, and he would have hung on to win. Yeah, I mean,
he had a screen on that on that last turn, right? Like, he had a screen being made, and all it needed was a 3+3+ from that wrestle dodger, and he rolled a 1 and 9 with it.
I think, well, I mean, time management, but Wenteros was the one who had time bank left at the end.
Yeah, Wenteros did not run out of the time.
Do you remember in the second half?
Close.
There was something I said about sometimes you can make there's 2 plays you can make, and one of them is statistically better in terms of your turn ordering, and one of them is worse, right? But sometimes doing the worse one can actually work out better because of the way the dice can work. Now, if I think back to that turn 15 attempt to make a screen from Wenteros, you never know. Maybe if he'd moved the wrestle dodge piece first, which we were in agreement was the wrong player to move first. But maybe if that
I think
first
it was slightly harder.
If he'd made that first 2 that he'd rolled had been a 3, then the next dice might have been like a 6 and a 5. And it might have worked. Mm-hmm. And you can't know that information.
Because like 3-3-2 is 68% with the dodge, and then just the 3-2 from the other one was only 55%, right? So moving the wrestle dodge actually might have been better from a numbers perspective, but I think like the positioning perspective, because the wrestle dodge wouldn't have filled the screen, whereas the other guy filled the screen properly. I think that's the big choice, right?
The best way I can describe that second half in overtime is that, Wenteros had done what we thought was the right thing and committed everything to a 2-0 lead. And it meant that Coke Guy had to basically stop this whole idea of playing sensibly, and you just had to start throwing dice at the wall and seeing what would stick.
Yeah.
Now, the dice, in the end, did stick. Which was...
And especially with the perfect defense, into the failed pickup. Right, it was a 1+. It was a 2+ pickup, got a 1. It was 3+ pickup, got a 2. Like, plenty of just could not roll the dice.
From the midpoint of that second half, when you actually look back on it in this, because we're only reacting to things at the time and wondering what's going to happen next. But actually, when you look back at the whole game and how that played out from the second half onwards, once the game went 2-0, you just begin to think that Coke Guy's name was just on the trophy from the start. Because it's quite difficult to assess how that happened.
I mean, definitely, what a run.
That will very easily go down. Well, I mean, by default, it will go down as the best Blood Bowl 3 Super Bowl we've had. That goes without saying. But it will for all-time Rebel, both Blood Bowl 2 and Blood Bowl 3, that will go down as an all-time classic. And I imagine that will be no consolation to Wenteros whatsoever.
Yeah. And I mean, like, let's give credit to both coaches. They both played amazingly today. I mean, what a show for REBBL. Like, both coaches rolling what they need, like, playing the plays they needed to play. You can always nitpick certain things, but I don't think you could really say that either player, made bad choices during this game.
I think overall, the thing I would nitpick most about the Orcs is they fouled way less than they should have fouled. Like,
a few more fouls.
Getting to the end of the game with a bribe in pocket is pretty criminal as a team with a dirty player. That should never happen. It should never happen.
Well, I mean, it can happen, but
it can. It can happen if you foul
every turn. If it does happen, it should be because the refs just didn't want to call it ever.
How many fouls did they make? 6.
4 or 5.
6 fouls, it says here in the stats.
Okay.
And that was from what, 20 turns?
Yeah.
That should be closer.
There were at least
10,
4
12.
turns in there where we should have had more fouls.
But hard for me to criticize the winner.
Yeah, exactly.
What I suspect we may do in the Discord is we may come up with a new Blood Bowl 3 Discord color so that the old Blood Bowl 2 champions get one color.
Yeah.
And the new Blood Bowl 3 champions get a different color.
We could do that for sure.
We'll discuss that with the powers that be, which is metal, basically. And yeah, otherwise, there's the link. rebel.net/signup. If you need convincing,
your sign-ups in.
If you need convincing, there's the game for you. Come join us. It's a good time. It's a good time. You have 1 week to get those sign-ups in. Division Day will be on the 28th of July, with the season starting on the 31st of July. It's a bit later than we'll normally do, but it's basically because Major Byte's on holiday, and far be it from me to interrupt Major Byte's holiday.
No. Major Byte is the lifeblood of REBBL.
if Major Byte's on holiday, the whole league will wait. Simple as that.
Exactly.
He has earned that. So the structure will be the sign-ups will close. I'll effectively get up early on the Sunday morning. The sign-ups will close at about, I think it'll be 6 a.m. UTC, 7 a.m. my time. Then it'll be spreadsheet time for me. In terms of the structure, we are going to move further towards the old pyramid structure, but we're not going to go straight for a Division 1, Division 2A, Division 2B yet. I suspect in Big O have only got 18 sign-ups at the moment, so Big O will do what they want.
Big O always does what they want.
They'll start 2 days early, they'll be finished 3 weeks early, something like that. I know what Big O is like. What I do is about 9 weeks from now, I'll just ask XS, who you send it to playoffs? And he'll go, these guys. And I'll go, great. And then one of them will win. That's how it works. But for the rest of us in G-Man and Rel, there will probably be like a Division 1A and 1B. And that is basically because I don't want like all of the first season teams that have done well to get like specifically punished by all going in one division together, because it feels a bit
it might
too
even
harsh.
have to be 3, right?
So I think
depends how many returning teams we get.
I think what we will probably have is effectively a tier 1, which will be it might even be split by TV, in all honesty. So the tier 1 teams.
I mean, to be fair, like split by TV is basically the same as splitting by record because of the way that redraft has worked.
Okay. Well, yeah, so there'll be a tier 1 of how many? There'll be a tier 2 of returning teams that probably didn't make the first season or didn't have that good a first season. And then tier 3 will be the new divisions.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Is roughly what I would expect to happen. Because I don't think we're ready yet for the traditional Division 1, 2A, 2B, 3A, 3B, 3C. I think we haven't got the numbers for that as a starting point, but I think also we need to give it a bit more time to get to that setup. So that's what we got in mind.
What a game.
And breathe.
I know, right?
GG's, everybody. It's been a long postseason. We have very much appreciated your patience as we sort of came to terms with that brawler bug that meant we had a delay for a week.
Brawler Pro, yeah. So many bugs.
We're delaying another week to get the season started. So I think we'll have gone from a 9-week season into an 8-week off season. So the balance of that is wrong. It's way off. We are looking to fix that going forward. The announcement's gone out today that we're going to bring back the Greenhorn Cup and what will be called the Year Trophy in honor of Mid-Year. The Blood Bowl 2 player, the werewolf, who amassed the most SPP in Blood Bowl 2. We will be going from there, basically. But we want to make sure that there's more Rebel to play in the postseason. And I think we're relatively confident that redraft should help manage the issues we've had in the postseason of like farming SPP, because if you farm SPP and level players up, they get more expensive and you can't necessarily afford them. Equally, we're gonna talk about putting rules in place. There might be like SPP caps on games because we have the option in the admin tools to remove SPP. So we'll have a look at it. But we want that to be a thing because there's, part of the rules in redraft is that teams are technically allowed to play friendly games and earn more money and have that count towards redraft. And obviously they're not getting that option yet. But we think it's just a fun thing to bring back as well.
Yeah, and it's always fun to be able to play more Blood Bowl. I mean, obviously, being able to watch a lot of Blood Bowl for the playoffs is great, and we have somehow managed to cast pretty much all of these games this season in Blood Bowl 3. I don't know how we did it, but we got them.
Big shout out to all the casters. T-Self, of course. Black Cat, I know, has streamed quite a lot.
Yeah, Black
games.
Cat was definitely a big help because it was mostly me and him for the super late night games.
Yeah.
Because we don't have too many of the people in REBBL time zones who are able to do it. Also, Misspelled Tree took a bunch.
I'm just scrolling back through as well.
A couple Big O coaches. Phage Forge had a few.
Viking Cop may have picked up a couple. Or certainly been involved.
Viking Cop picked up some. Russell Chambers got a few. Yeah. There's been a lot of help from a lot of different people, but always looking for more casters. I think that's worth saying. Even if you can't stream yourself, it's always good to have a second person in the booth. All you need for that is Discord.
We are trying to make strides to rebuild REBBL. Obviously, we've had a big loss of player count with the transition over to Blood Bowl 3. Lots of people not liking the new game. There's a whole cohort of players who quit Blood Bowl 2 saying, oh, I'll come back for Blood Bowl 3. I just need a break from Blood Bowl. And then those players typically have, for the most part, not come back, which is fine. People go off and do other things. That's perfectly okay. From our perspective, in terms of streamers, we used to have loads of casters, whereas if I think back to sort of 2019, 2018, you would be fighting to get games that you wanted, right?
We had to fight for them, yeah.
And I would have to pull rank on some games and be like, right, well, I'm doing that one because I want to, and this, that, and the other. Now it's more like, can we find someone for these games? So we'd love to get it back to what it was. That requires people continuing to sign up, play the games, and show an enthusiasm for it. So hopefully we can get there. In the meantime, I will be back on Tuesday streaming the ZFL show, which is sort of my little side project, Blood Bowl, which has been good fun. Obviously, I encourage people to watch that because a lot of work's going into it.
It's such a good watch. If you liked this game, you will enjoy what the ZFL has to offer as well.
Now, the ZFL is like this game, but every single game is this game.
Yeah.
So, yeah, hopefully we'll see you there. And then the season will start a week on Wednesday. So a little bit longer to wait, but hopefully it'll be worthwhile. We are going to raid. I think we're going to raid Dizzy Bess, who I think is streaming the tournament in Bilbao.